And we are live on the air. Hello, everybody. Leslie Lane Peabody, Ninjas in High Heels, and welcome to Marketing Secrets. We have a great panel for you tonight, and I think you're going to walk away with some of the best information you've ever had from attending an event. I'm going to introduce you briefly to our panel, and the Q&A is open, so please put your questions in the Q&A. So first, we have the Professor of Possibilities, Mr. Dennis Lund himself. Say hello to Dennis. Then we have the second gentleman here is Don the Book Kahuna, Don Schmidt. Lori Shin, the Everyday Shaman, is also here with us. And then we have our illustrious leader, Abram Gonzalez. Go ahead, take it away for a little while. Go ahead, take it away.
Oh, aren't you gonna talk about what we're doing today?
We can talk about what we're doing first. So tonight we wanted to introduce you into something that we've used, the ones here on the panel, we've used to help build our dreams and to help grow our business. We're all here, we're kind of business coaches, right? Some of us specialize in authors, coaches, other entrepreneurs. My 15-year-old son, I told him to get on the call tonight. He said, "But Mom, I already know what you do." And I said, "What do I do, son?" He said, "Well, Mom, you're an entrepreneur who helps other entrepreneurs." Like, okay, you get that one, you're right. He sometimes has to go and help me and video other people. So that's what we're hoping you get out of this tonight, is you get some tips and tricks that you can use in your business. So the objective of this session tonight is to get you at least one tip or trick that you will use tomorrow in your own business, and two, to introduce you to us, tell you a little bit about us, learn our story and how the Empower Network has helped us grow and catapult our business to the next level. And number three, to give you an opportunity to join with us. If you feel moved to do so, if you think that this is the right group of people for you, we will give you an opportunity at the end to pick one of us and join and link arms with us and run with us. You can't believe the power, the motivation, the momentum that is happening in our group this year. We were on a call on Monday. Who was on the call? Raise your hand if you were on the call on Monday. So out of the 5 people on this panel, 4 of us spoke to over 900 people on Monday night and helped share our stories about how the Empower Network is helping us move our businesses forward. So that's kind of what we have in store for you tonight. Sounds great, doesn't it? Abram, what can you do to help us with that?
What can I do to help you? Well, you guys have already made the decision to lock arms with me and my partner Nikki, right? So we're already doing stuff. That's why I'm here on this hangout, is to really, share with your audiences really like what's going on, what we can do to really help people, break free in their lives, create businesses in a new way. Take yourself out of the equation of really creating business, because let's be real, like the way that most people make money or earn an income today is trading time for money, right? And trading time for money is like the abysmal pit that you can never get your soul back from. And it sounds crazy when I put it like that, but it's kind of true, because there's no way to get your time back. You can always make more money, but you can never get your time back. The other thing is one of the things at the end of your road, what are you going to wish that you had more of? Time to spend with your friends and family. And you're also going to wish that you might have had some better health, right? So I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are and were a lot like me and my partner Nikki, just like 2-3 years ago. When we first got started in entrepreneurship, we were really broke. We could hardly afford good enough food to eat. It was like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and mac and cheese, all the time. That's all that we could afford. And we were always burned out trying to get our next client, trying to launch our next product, trying to create our next class, and it was like running around on the hamster wheel. And so I know that there's probably, knowing you guys, there's probably some coaches, some change agents, people who are different kinds of consultants, people who have some sort of skill set, maybe even healers, on this Hangout right now, and you're struggling to find more business. And people have told you over and over and over, you got to get online, you got to use social media, you got to learn how to drive traffic, you got to have a website and a blog, you got to have all these things. And really it's like drinking from a fire hose, right? Because you're getting bombarded with all these different things at the same time. So here's what's cool. Here's what's cool. When I first got started on the internet, I knew just by looking at it and seeing what people were doing when they were marketing law of attraction and spiritual development and all sorts of things on the internet, I knew that that would be the future of marketing, right? And by the way, Leslie failed to mention here in the beginning, we have done some incredible things with the Empower Network. Okay, my partner Nikki and I, we just crossed $250,000 in online commissions in like 18 months. Okay, and since I'm talking about income, I gotta say it. Check out the average earnings disclosure. It might be at the bottom of this page. If not, you can go to empowernetwork.com/income and check that out there. That's why you should listen to me. Okay, that's why you should listen to me, because I've done it all on the internet. Okay, I've done most of it through free marketing strategies like YouTube and Facebook and social media. Okay, so I didn't spend $100,000 to get $250,000, right? I spent less than $5. Okay, that's really what it took using what I know. Okay, now to grow my business from 250K to over $1 million, I'm gonna have to pay, right? I'm gonna do some paid advertising, you know, Facebook pay-per-click, maybe YouTube pay-per-click. There's all these different strategies to choose from, but what I did, and what I encourage you to do, is to choose one strategy that would be fun for you. So when I got started online, everybody was telling me that doing video was like the thing that you should do, that you have to do if you want to be successful on the internet. And I would have to agree with that, because the more time that people get to spend with you, learning from you on video, what happens, right? They get to know you better. They get to choose whether or not they like you, you know, whether or not they want to do business with you. And it's just a great way to teach people, because a lot of people, you can get the video, you can get the visual, you can get the audio, and unfortunately we can't touch each other. That would be pretty cool. Maybe someday, right? Lori's like, we could try. We could. Is this working? Is this on right now? Yeah. So we could maybe someday in the future we'll be able to actually touch each other through the internet. Although it sounds a little creepy when I say it. Anyway, you know, you get both of these things, and it's so much easier to teach and really learn from people. And so I picked up video in 2010, and I was like, I'm going to learn this thing. I don't know anything about it. I'm just going to do it. And so I picked up a video camera, and I started shooting videos. And what did I shoot in my videos? I'm going to tie this into the kind of stuff that you might be thinking of that you could apply to your business in just a second. But I picked up a video camera, and I started shooting videos, right? And my objective in 2010 was to shoot a video every single day, doing something brand new that I'd never done before, every day, just to get out of my comfort zone, just to see what would happen, and to learn how to do this internet marketing thing, right? So I shot like 250 videos in 2010. I amassed like thousands and thousands of people, new Facebook friends that were friending me from all over the world, subscribers on YouTube, like all this crazy stuff. People were actually watching my videos, and that blew me away. Right? Because my objective in starting my videos was not for other people. It was for me to learn. It was for me to figure out this internet thing. And I was just sharing my adventures, you know, and people got inspired just by me sharing. And there's people now that find me years later from videos that I did in 2010. You know, what came out of doing videos every day for an entire year? Well, I met my partner Nikki through that, right? She's the love of my life, my business partner. You know, she's helped me grow in so many ways, become a man, you know what I mean? And she's a huge part of this business. Second thing that videos helped me do was to get booked for a speaking engagement at TEDx, right? I'd always wanted to speak at TEDx, and because somebody found my video on the internet and passed it along to one of the coordinators that was here in Denver doing the event, I got a spot on TEDx. just because of some silly videos that I put on the internet that happen to inspire some people, right? And of course, it's helped us build a huge business that reaches all across the globe, right? You four are just like the tip of the iceberg, right? We have a team of hundreds of people that are come together looking for freedom, looking for a way to make money that's not tied to time. And in doing so, we have to learn the skill sets and the marketing pieces, which it sounds like that's what people are showing up here for tonight. You want to know how to market stuff. You want to know where to get started. You want to know what to do next. I'm just telling you what I did to get started, right? When I started, it wasn't about making money, right? And it's okay to get started just thinking about the money. We got bills to pay, okay? But what allowed me to become so successful so fast, and this might be something to write down if you're watching this and you haven't had the success yet, is that I was interested solely in the education and the learning of skill sets, right? All I wanted to do was to learn. I treated it as if I was going to school, I was going to put in my time, it didn't matter if I made any money or not, but I knew that at the end of my journey, I would have something that I could take and I could apply to anything. You know, one of my favorite entrepreneurs on the internet is Marie Forleo. You guys know who Marie Forleo is?
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah. I think I was talking about her earlier today on a Hangout, and what Marie Forleo says now, you know, she's a 7-figure business owner. She's just a rockin' chick, and she said that if there's a skill set you want to learn today, it's marketing. Right? Because when you take marketing and you pair it up with anything, what do you have? You have a money-making machine. Right? It doesn't matter what your skill sets are, it doesn't matter what you have. If you don't know how to market it, good luck. Right? Good luck. If you don't know how to market something, there's a good chance that you have a hobby on your hands. A hobby being something that you love to do but doesn't make you any money. Okay? That's the difference between an entrepreneur and a wantrepreneur. Okay? It's okay to be a wantrepreneur, all right? Because everybody goes through that phase where you can't wait to tell your friends, I'm running my own business, da-da-da-da-da, and then they find out you're not making any money, right? Big dreams. Starts with a dream. That's the second thing. It starts with a dream and a desire to create one. So what do you do when you have the dream and you don't have the marketing skill sets yet? Well, you do what I did. You get hooked up with people that know how to do what you want to do. So when I got started, I didn't have any money. I was a broke college kid living at home with my parents, and I couldn't afford to pay for extra classes. I was already sinking in over $100,000 into a master's degree, right? Which, by the way, it's a great little title, but it's not paying my bills, okay? If only I had learned what I have learned through the Empower Network so far and the products and education that we have in school, that would have made my $100,000 degree very much worth it. But I found myself in classes with professors trying to teach me how to do marketing and then trying to teach me how to do internet marketing. Ended up running 2 of my classes, 2 sessions with a couple of my different teachers while I was in school. Because guess what? I knew more about YouTube and Facebook and Twitter than they did because I was already online putting up my own videos, interacting with people, growing a tribe, you know, launching my first products even though they flopped. You know, I totally knew more than they did, right? And that's just education these days. You know, what they teach you in school is already 5 years behind what's actually going on in the workplace. You know, by the time you get out of school, there's a reason you need an internship. It's because you need to learn the hands-on skills that go along with being in the field and working with clients, right? You get that now when you work with people that know what they're doing. So what did I do? I was attending webinars. I was attending Hangouts like this, although I don't think Google Hangouts were around yet in 2010. I was attending as much live stuff, as much free stuff as I could get my hands on, watching what other people were doing, taking it, implementing it into my video project, Inspiration, that I was telling you about, and just learning. And that led me to my first business partners. You know, that led me to some of that other stuff I told you about earlier. It led me down the road of entrepreneurship, looking for different ways to earn an income on the internet. So, what do I do next? I found ways to actually get around the people. So virtual is cool, but being in person is something totally different. And I'm not, and here's the thing, I can hear people's thoughts right now. They're like, what the does this have to do with marketing? It has everything to do with marketing, right? Because if you don't have these foundational pieces, good luck building your business. You'll end up just like me in the summer of 2010, trying to launch my first business, telling my dad, Dad, I can't work at the dry cleaner anymore. I need to chase my dream. I need to build my online business. I'm sorry, man. I can't come in and work anymore. 3 months later, begging my dad to take me back because the most money I had made in my 3 months was less than $1,000 on the internet, right? I didn't have the foundational skills. I didn't have the mentorship. I didn't have the community of support. All I had was a dream that I was trying to work out from my bedroom inside my parents' house. So what I'm trying to communicate here is that my transformation didn't occur until I actually started getting in the room with other entrepreneurs who are more successful than me. So last year, a quick little story, one of my mentors, Lawrence Tan, who we had the pleasure of hanging out with earlier today on another live hangout, you know, he's a seven-figure earner. You know, he's a guy I look up to a lot. And when I first got into this industry, he was one of the people that I knew had a genuine heart. He was one of the people that I knew that I wanted to get in contact with, but I also knew he was a busy guy. Right? He's a busy guy. So how am I going to get his attention? Right? Well, the first thing I did is I got in and I just produced like crazy. Right? Nikki and I, we got in, we got our hands dirty, we got our hands on the education here with Empower. We put everything into place. We were blogging every day. We were putting up videos. We were just doing everything we could on Facebook and stuff to get people into our circle. Right? Traffic's like the name of the game. You want results in your business and your marketing. You got to have traffic and you got to have influence. Right? Here's the thing: if you're posting stuff on Facebook and all you hear is crickets, congratulations. You don't have influence yet, but you can build influence when you get educated and you start teaching people the things that you're learning, right? That's what we're doing right now, right? So that's why you guys are doing this hangout. You're going to teach people the stuff that you're learning. When somebody learns something from you, guess what happens? You become like their best friend in their mind, right? You become somebody like, oh my gosh, Leslie, I just learned the coolest video trick from you. I can't wait to meet you in person. You become somewhat like an online celebrity. Coolest thing ever. That's what happens when you do video, right? So back to Lawrence Tam. I was like, I need to get in touch with this guy. How am I going to do it? Well, the only way to get in touch with people that are mega successful is to go out and create results yourself. If you don't have the results, you might get a nice wave, a smile, or a hug, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, cool, nice to meet you. And they're like, I'm going to go hang out with my friends that are producing and doing cool stuff. And they're like, all right, see ya. Well, I didn't want that. So we got in, we got our hands dirty, we produced, and then suddenly Lawrence was like, where are all these dang commissions coming from, right? Nikki and I sent up like $10,000 or $12,000 worth of commissions to him in the span of like 2 weeks. And he was like, wow, where is this coming from? Who is Abram and Nikki? I've never heard of these people in my entire life. And long story short, he invited us out to Houston to come for this big mastermind. It was the first time really meeting him in person, spending time. We broke bread together, we hung out, we exchanged strategies, and mostly just talked about life. But what I learned from him in that seminar from spending time was not something that I can actually put into words, but it's only something that I can describe in the positive effect that came from doing it. Right? If you look at your 5 best friends right now, and you average up all their income, and you write it down on a piece of paper, guess whose income that is? Yours, right? It's yours. I'd be willing to bet it's yours, right? So take a look around, be honest, who are you hanging out with? You know, for me, 2010, 2009, who was I hanging out with? A bunch of people addicted to pot, smoking pot, doing drugs just like I was coming out of college, who were working at Starbucks and Subway, you know, or me at my dad's dry cleaner, right? What was our average income? Like $10,000 a year, maybe. And then we spent it all on pot, right? Like I don't smoke pot anymore. Like I'm a recovered, addict or whatever you want to call it, right? Some people it's like, well, you're smoking pot. It's not like you're smoking, hard drugs. And it's like, well, whatever. It really fucked up my life when I was doing it. But since then, I'm like, where am I even going with this? Oh, but since then, I had to let go of a lot of friendships that weren't working for me. It wasn't like I was calling people up and saying, hey, Ryan, we can't be friends anymore because you're just a deadbeat just like me and I gotta break free. I wasn't making phone calls telling people that, they're not worthy anymore. It's not like that. You just start spending your time with different people. What's one of the best ways to do it? You get to events, right? You get to events. So when I spent my time with Lawrence Tam, 7-figure earner, and 2 other people, Toby and Layla, multiple 6-figure earners on the internet and network marketing industry, what happened? Previous month, Nikki and I had earned $8,000. This is June of last year. And this is really where our life changed, right? June of last year, $8,000. July of last year, $44,000 in a single month. How do you explain that jump? People ask us, well, what are you doing right now? What's your marketing strategy? What's the secret? And it's like, we weren't doing anything different. But we had changed completely on the inside by spending that weekend with Lawrence and Toby and Layla. So if you want to become a better marketer, you start hanging out with better marketers. If you want to increase the level of income that you have in your life, especially as an entrepreneur, you got to get around other entrepreneurs who are earning an income. And again, there's a reason I spent 20 minutes talking about this stuff and talking nothing about marketing, because this is the stuff that's important. You think you need the strategy, but really what you need is just the education, somewhere to plug into, and a desire to learn and to grow, right? Thankfully, we have all 3 of those things, right? So I don't know what the situation is here. If you guys have it on like a web page or something, but maybe there's a link below that you can click on and join. Maybe one of the people here invited you here. You want to connect with them either right now or right after the hangout, and then join them, because you'll be plugged into one of the most badass groups on the planet that's totally supportive of your dreams and of going where you want. And here's what's going to happen. Okay, here's what's going to happen. That's why I'm happy to have you guys on here tonight, right? Because you're all in with the vision. You guys have invested in your education. Lori, or Leslie here, sorry, there's we have Lori's and Leslie's, and it's just, wow, right? So many L's. Leslie just did something incredible this week. She got her first all-in sale, right? A $3,000 sale through the internet, right? Who does that in a single day? Not normal people, right? Not normal people. And again, I'm talking about income and stuff. Make sure you check out our average earnings disclosure, empowerwork.com/income. But I salute you, Leslie, for making it happen, right? You stuck with it. You've been in the game for a while now. And that's what happens, because, I worked at it for 3 years without much to show of anything. And it was like suddenly, almost seemingly overnight, then came all the riches, right? Then came all the money. Then came the harvest for everything that I'd been selling for years and years and years. And that's what happens in anything that you do. So my hat's off to you, Leslie, for really crushing it out this week. I believe you can do even more than that, right? Lori, Dawn, congratulations on getting all in, making a commitment to get to Charlotte, because guess what? When we all come together in Charlotte, that's when magical things will happen. Dennis is making a commitment. Dennis has been all in since almost the beginning, right? He's getting to Charlotte, not making any excuses. And here's what you need to do next if you're watching this. If you're in a place like I was just a few years ago, where you're struggling to get by, you don't know where the clients are going to come from next, you see every single person that walks through your door as the next meal ticket, it is not a fun place to be. I know it because I have lived it. And I know, after seeing it in myself and in so many other people, how quickly your reality can change when you make a decision, right? And the decision that you have in front of you is, am I ready to give up a life of struggle, a life where I'm just pissed off that I can't spend more time with my kids because I'm working at my job. If you're ready to give that up, truly ready to give that up, it's time for you to take out your credit card, click the link below this video, and just get in. And if you're already in and you're watching this, you need to get all in. You need to get invested in your education, and you need to come run with us. Because over the next 90 days, myself and my partner Nikki, we're going to do 250K in 90 days. We did 250K in 18 months. We're going to compress time frames, and we're going to do it in 90 days. And guess what has to happen? Time to help some people, right? Time to help some people. Last year was about us getting our basic needs met. This year is about you. This year is about the people. That's why I'm out in this hangout today, because it's about you guys. It's about lifting you up. And we're going to take 10 people to total freedom in the next 90 days. But guess what? It won't happen if you don't take action, right? It won't happen if you don't click the button below and get in. It won't happen if you don't invest in your education and get all in with us and run with us. And it won't happen if you don't meet us in Charlotte, right? We're doing this huge event at the end of this month in Charlotte. We're all going to be out there hanging out. We want you to be a part of it. You need to be there. You need to be there. My friend David Wood said this. I'm going to leave it at this. I thought it was hilarious, so I got to repeat it again today. I said it earlier. He said, there's a train leaving the station, and there's a mountain. And I feel like I'm like almost like channeling him, so I'm starting to talk like him right now. And there's a mountain. And on that mountain is all your dreams, hopes, and desires. And the train's going that way fast. And there's some train tracks, and you're waiting by the train tracks. And when the train comes by, you got to get on it, because the train is going to be sailing its way towards the mountain. But if you don't get on the train, all you're left with is train tracks and no trail to the mountain anywhere. All you can do is you can see it. And what do you have to do? You have to walk barefoot, alone, through broken glass, just to get there and live your dream. I think that's really funny, but it's actually kind of true. Because I feel like I walked through years and years worth of broken glass trying to do it by myself, and I got to the point where I said to myself, Abram, this isn't working anymore, dude. Like, it's time to reach up and ask for a hand up. Not a hand out, but a hand up, and be willing to humble myself and learn from people who know what they know that I want, and just get busy. And that's what I did. And that's what created $250,000 in the last 18 months. And that's what I did to declare and be so certain that we're going to do it again in the next 90 days. And that's why I'm certain that if you make the decision to jump on this train, it's leaving tomorrow, by the way, and lock arms with us, meet us in Charlotte, you too can ride the train to the mountain, the prosperous mountain, where all your hopes and dreams lie. Okay, we'll teach you how to do the marketing stuff. Our education does it for you. You get your own blog when you get started with us. It's the coolest shit ever. And it's made it so much easier than everything that I had to go through in order to get my entrepreneurial journey started. Most people get started, they're like, it's so hard. And I'm like, trust me, you didn't have to walk through the broken glass. That sucked. This is awesome. It's time for you to get in. And that's it, my friends. I appreciate you for having me out. And I look forward to locking arms with the rest of you in Charlotte. You guys are awesome. Let's crush it out. Let's bring just a huge group of amazing people there. Even the people that are watching this now or watching it later that are like, you know what? I'm getting on the train. Can't wait to see you guys.
Thank you
Thanks so much.
Abram.
Absolutely. Take care, you guys. Have fun.
Great, thanks.
Bye.
So that was our leader, Abram Gonzalez. He and Nikki co-lead our team. And he, as he told you, was a TEDx speaker. And let me tell you, he is a great leader. We all like working with him. And getting on the train, folks, that is what it's about tonight, is getting on that train. That momentum has already been started by this company, and we are jumping on that train. And it's not started very fast yet, but starting tomorrow, it's going to speed up. We want to take your hand. We want to pull you on the train with us and get your business going. I'm hearing an echo. Are you guys hearing an echo too? No, must not be. Okay, great. So we're going to take this, and Abram usually closes, but he had another hangout he had to get to with David Woods, the founder of the company. And like I said, on Monday, this is what I want you to know about this team. On Monday, David Woods, the founder of the company, had a hangout. And one of the things that David Woods asked is, hey, if you got all in today, I'll explain all in a minute. If you got all in today, send me an email, and then I'll put you on in front of these 900 and some odd people. Do you know who the first person was who took action? It's one of the four. Yeah, Don Buchanan-Smith. Way to go, Don. Woo! So I'm sitting there watching, and I've sponsored Don into this business, right? So I'm like a mom. I'm crying when I see him on with David Woods. And who's the second one? Lori Shin. And Lori and I do a Saturday Sanctuary every week, right? So it's amazing. And then he's going on, right? And we have another member of our team getting up. And pretty soon you have 4 or 5 people out there with David Woods. And how many people are from our team? 4. 3 or 4 at that point, right? Then David Woods asked for, hey, who got their first all-in sale today? And all-in means you have invested in yourself. You've invested $29.97 in yourself, in your education. I got to tell you, that is about the same price as you're going to spend for a year at like a Red Rocks community college. My oldest son is going to community college. That's a year of community college. It's really not very expensive, and it's a graduate, a PhD program in terms of education you get. So he asked, who sold their first all-in today? So I was multitasking with my children, and Abram texts me. He says, get on right now. David Wood's going to put you on. So I send them an email, and guess what? I get on the phone like that, right? Awesome. Then Abram gets on the phone, and Dave Woods didn't know I was Don's sponsor. He could not have planned it better. So here you have this team of us, of Team Have It All, leading, charging this event. And that's what I want to tell you, folks. If you want to join with winners, if you want those 5 people that you hang out with to be the people running the business right now, the Super Bowl champions right now, right? Other teams, if you're with somebody else in Empower, go for it. Everybody's awesome. We cross teams all the time, and we love each other, we support each other, we help each other. But if you're not yet with Empower and you want to get with the team who's going to the Super Bowl championship this year, we're the team to join. And while I talk about that, I want to tell you a little bit about what you see below our faces. Because there's several of us, and that's another thing that you'll learn, is we're a very cooperative team. We help each other. So you might feel like, oh, I really like Leslie. I want to join her. Here's my link. Join with me. But you might really like Dennis's style better. You might think he would be a better mentor for you. Join with him. And below our pictures, below our faces, you're going to see our join link and then our name. So pick somebody, join with us, and start running with us. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about the story about how this hangout came about. So we're all going to Charlotte, right? And Charlotte is happening June 26th through June 29th. And we're like, where shall we stay? The Embassy Suites is great, but what would happen if we got a house? So Lori, because, you know, I told you we're a team of action takers, right? Lori gets on. She rents a house like almost immediately. So we have like 4 of us renting a house. And then there's 5 of us renting a house. And then there's 6 of us renting a house. I don't even know how many people are renting this house together now. So if you go to Charlotte with us, we not only do the business together, we hang out together. We're going to network while we're having barbecues or whatever together. It's going to be awesome. All right. So that's kind of a little bit about how we got together and why we're doing this hangout together. We got together and we said we want to give people the chance to get to know us, to figure out who we are, find out who they might want to join with, what value can we give them. And Dennis came up with a great idea to give you some marketing tips, because when we got started, we all needed marketing tips, right? How do we need to market? So we're all going to give you 1 or 2 marketing tips that you can implement tomorrow in your business. Even if you choose not to join us in the Empower Network, it doesn't matter. You're going to walk away with 1 or 2 tips that you can implement in your business, in your life tomorrow, and it will make it worth the time you took to come here, because you can never get this time back. We want to make sure that we give you value. So we're going to start off, and Lori is going to talk about the magic of live events. You're here with us today on a live event, and she is going to explain the magic that is a live event. So Lori, the Everyday Shaman, would you like to take it away? I'm going to mute myself.
All right. Thank you, Leslie. Leslie is a great MC, and I'm here to talk about the magic of live events. Wow. You know, we are on a live event right now, and I'll talk briefly, and then I'll just tell you a little bit about my first live event at the Empower Network. And so live events, you know, if you've been in business, live events can include webinars, conference calls, and Google Hangouts, and then traditional live events. You know, you go to a place, a group of people, maybe in a hotel or in a convention center, and you get jazzed. And how do you get jazzed with people? You know, what those live events are generating momentum and inspiration and then action. So really, actually, what I'd love to talk to you about is I love these Google Hangouts. I do these Google Hangouts weekly with Leslie. It's her mastermind of doing the Saturday Sanctuary, and I think that's the coolest thing. And we just chat about business and what we can offer you as value. And Google Hangouts, I'm still learning. I mean, she's a pro, and I'm still learning the Google Hangouts, but we all band together, and we all really feel that it's really exciting to work with one another. And again, we just want to support one another, and we want to support people who are looking to do something different and something really strong and really move forward in their business. But you know, I was talking to a friend of mine in New York City today. Her name's Natalie, and I adore her. She is just a phenomenal gal, and we coached together in the same training. And we were talking, and she made me, you know, when we were talking, I was thinking, and I was relating a little bit about the Empower Network, because I went to my first event, the live event called Freedom in Miami, Florida. Now, some of my friends may not know, but I grew up in the Miami area, and I had so many incredible breakthroughs, not only at the event, but because Empower Network had the event there, I was able to blow through some really limiting beliefs, because I hadn't been there. I'm pretty old, so I haven't been to Miami since 1980. So and when I was there the last time, you know, that time, it wasn't something that I really truly wanted to connect with. But I went actually to my childhood home. My father had built this house in a little town. Well, it wasn't a little town now, but North Miami Beach, outside of Miami. And I went to my old home, and I did a little video of me standing by my old home, because as a kid I remember some really good things. And it's kind of funny, I have 2 brothers, and they kind of have different experiences of how it was there. And how about you? I mean, do you look at your childhood and do you relate to certain experiences? And do you still have certain beliefs that are kind of the childhood beliefs? Well, because Empower Network had that event in Miami, I was actually able to blow through a lot of beliefs. And those beliefs were, in some way, they must have served me, but they didn't serve me anymore. And I just looked at myself and how I've grown, and I really want to run with this company because they really inspired me. The event was, it was rock star solid. We met people all over the world, and we made friends, and I got to meet people, and the next event is coming up, and I'm so excited. Like Leslie said, I said, well, let's go rent a house. So we're renting a house just about 7 minutes from the event, and we've got 7 people there, and we are just so excited about it. And I am so excited to see some of the other part of Team Have It All. It's just something that you have to experience. Um, Dave Wood, who is the founder or the co-founder of Empower Network, he has been telling us, he's kind of really teasing us right now. He's telling us this is not a regional type event. He says, get in, get there, get to Charlotte, get in, get all in. And, when he brought me on the Hangout with him and he coached me in front of 900 plus people, I thought, man, this guy has heart. When somebody who is the founder and who is a founder of a multi-million dollar company, they say, I believe in you, man, that's amazing. I don't know of any other company, bar none. I don't know of any other company like that. So if you want to feel inspired, motivated, fired up, passionate about something, get to Charlotte with us. Lock arms with us. We would be so excited to have you there. And that's really all I wanted to say. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Leslie.
Great. And I want to make sure that people really understand what you said, because when Dave Woods looks at you, he looks at that camera, right, that little button right there on that camera, and he reaches into your heart and he says, I believe in you. And you know he means it. You feel his power. You feel his presence. And you know that there is nothing you can't do. So when Lori says you want to get there, you want to be coached by the man himself. And let me tell you, when you first see Dave Woods, you're going to see this long-haired, hippie, barefoot freak, and you're going to say, who is that? Unless you're like a freaky person yourself. I'm kind of like a businessy person. I'm like, I'm going to listen to him? Oh, yeah, let me tell you, I listen to him. I do. And I go to events. I started Empower Network about 6 months ago. I started about September 26th or something. My first event was Anaheim. It was like 5 days later. I got to the first event. I was walking around, looking around. I didn't know what I was doing, but I could feel the power, feel the momentum. Then my second event was Miami. And when I went to Miami, if you've ever heard of Tony Robbins, it felt like a Tony Robbins event. The people up on the stage would say, it's my time, and we'd all beat our chest and say, it's my time, and we'd feel it. It invigorated me. It started my business rolling. And now when we get to Charlotte, I'm not going to be rolling. I'm going to be speeding, and I want you to join us. I want you to know that you need to come with us. We have a community. We have a family here, and it is an awesome family. And I really would love you to join us, like Lori said, in Charlotte. And if you can't, then join us here regularly, because we will reach out to you on a regular basis. So now I want to introduce you to my friend Dawn, the Book Kahuna Schmidt. Dawn and I met. It's kind of funny because both Dawn and Lori live in Colorado. We've each met, maybe I've met Lori once in Colorado, but I met her once in Florida. But our relationship is online. And it's kind of funny that we are so close, but we never see each other, but we see each other all the time online. These two have become my closest friends and comrades. We are building a business together. We are running a business together. And so now Don is going to take it away, and he's going to talk about the missing link.
Leslie, Lori, Dennis. Hey, I just wanted to say first off, I'm very humbled to be on this panel of people that are so driven to take their life in a totally different direction. And uh, empower to me is something that's going to free me from my past. I've been working in the publishing industry for the last 30 years, and that was basically why I really got involved with LinkedIn. Um, it was a way to communicate with other professionals in my industry. It was a way to build my own group where I wanted to get discussions going and talk about publishing and get things moving in different directions about what's happening with the digital side and what's happening with the electronic side. And as I got more involved with this and kept adding and adding and adding more connections, I started to find out little intricacies about LinkedIn that actually set it apart from Facebook and Twitter, which are great social media platforms as well. But LinkedIn has some functionality that is different. But before we get into that, the first thing I want you all to realize is that of all the people that are on LinkedIn, it's the one social media platform that has the highest per capita income per person on that social media platform. In other words, the people on there make the most money. That's as easy as I can say it. Now, those are the people that you want to connect with. Now, what you can do...
Wait a minute, Don. Why
Sure,
do
go
we
ahead.
connect with those people?
Because they have disposable income, and as I'm learning through going through one of the first modules in Power, the 15K, is that people are the product. You are trying to get people to relate to you by not selling. You're not selling. You're relating to people. You're trying to answer a question that they have, help them solve a problem, entertain them. And in this respect, LinkedIn is great because you can sort by business, you can sort by geographic area, you can sort by actual levels of where people are in their professional careers. And in terms of trying to get in touch with people and get people to listen to you as a leader and an innovator in your field, those are the people that you want. And you want those people to look at you, like we always say in business, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And it's no accident that I have a picture with my dog as my profile picture. So that's one of the things too. You've got to make a connection.
And I trust your dog, Don.
They trust my dog because he's a corgi and he's very cute. So,
right.
not as cute as Abram and Nikki's dog, but he's close.
Oh no, I think he's cuter. So remember what Abram said a little bit earlier, is that you make more money by doing the same work but selling to people who have more money, so they're willing to spend more. Dawn, not many people teach LinkedIn, so you guys have a great opportunity here. Dawn is a LinkedIn expert. A lot of people are teaching Facebook, that kind of thing. This is awesome. So really spend some time listening to Dawn, because LinkedIn, that's where the rich people hang out. Spend time with the rich people.
Think about it this way. On LinkedIn, you can actually be a first-tier connection with a CEO of a company. On Facebook, not so much, I don't think. You're not going to really be able to reach out and get in contact with, someone who's in charge of Simon & Schuster or someone who's in charge of Pearson. Some of the things, it's not a repository for your resume. LinkedIn is a business directory. People go on LinkedIn now to find goods, services, people, products. You are the product. They're looking for you. What you can do is you can make your own group on LinkedIn. Now, if you make your own group on LinkedIn like I did, I have the Denver Publishing Professionals, you then can invite all of your connections to join your group. Once you have people in your group, you can mass email all the people in your, it almost becomes your AWeber, so that you have your own email list of how many ever people are within your group that you founded, which is fantastic because as you grow your connections, and mine are up to over 7,000 now. I'm not a super connector yet, but I will be soon. You can get to the point where it's going to be one of those things where it's going to really going to help you. So I just wanted to say that these are the things that you can do. Empower can fit within that LinkedIn process. And once you link it all together, because you can take your blog posts and put them on LinkedIn as well, you're going to reach a tremendous amount of people with very little effort. And that is the LinkedIn story. And if you want to know more information, my link is right here below my picture.
Awesome. Thank you. I keep telling Don he needs a picture of Bigfoot because I want to see Bigfoot in front of him. So what Don didn't say, I don't think, is on Monday he told the story about how he really had to struggle to get all in, but he understands the value of doing this. Don has, do you have a doctorate or a master's?
Well, I'm in the same boat as Avram. I have a master's that I have to pay off.
Okay, so he has a master's. He is recognizing that this education that we get through this going all in, like Avram was talking about, is going to help him catapult a business where his college education, while very important, is not helping him make a living. This can help us make a living, and that's why we're all here, is because we want to figure out how to make a living. So I'm going to go next, and we're going to end with Dennis, and then I'll come back and close. But I want to tell you a little bit about, Don told you about LinkedIn, right? I'm going to tell you a little bit about video. And Abram talked about video. Now, I'm one of those that is a six-figure earner. I still have a day job, right? So I'm building this on the side because I was sitting in the hospital about 5 years ago or so, and I was sitting around the table in the cafeteria with my two sisters. My mom was there with kidney failure. And I'd never known this about kidney failure, but because it pollutes your body so much when your kidneys can't process, you lose your mind. And all of my grandmothers had been living in their own home until the day they died. We did not have a plan for what are we going to do with Mom when she can't take care of herself anymore. That was never on our radar screen. So it's about midnight. I'm sitting in the hospital with my three sisters, my two sisters, so the three of us sitting around the table. I remember I was drinking a lukewarm hot chocolate, and we were talking about what were we going to do. I have a sister that lives in New York, another one that lives in the mountain community, and I'm about 45 minutes away from my mom. I have two teenage boys. I have a job. My butt has to be in the chair to be paid. And I'm sitting there and I'm stressing out because I'm the only one local. It's going to fall to me to take care of my mother. And let me tell you, if I have to make a choice between a job and a mother, I'm going to make a choice for a mother. But if I have to make a choice between a mother and feeding boys, I don't know how to make that choice. That's a Sophie's choice right there, right? Because they're both based on love. So what do? Well, thankfully, Mother got better with the help of dialysis, and she's on dialysis 3 times a week. She's back living at home, and that problem resolved itself, thank the Lord. But I didn't stop thinking about how am I going to solve that situation. If I get to the position where I can't have my butt in a chair, where someone in my family needs me, how am I going to be able to be at the hospital or care for someone and pay the bills at the same time? And I struggled for years to try and figure that out, years. And then finally I decided about 6 or 8 months ago that I would start a coaching business. And I would do a coaching business and I would move forward and do things like that. And that, I believe that the universe brings to you what you need at the time. So almost as soon, within 2 months of when I decided to start a coaching business, I was introduced to the Empower Network. And the Empower Network can help you market a business, whatever business you're in. Well, what better tool for a coach to use than that? Because I coach other entrepreneurs. I coach people to make a business that works even when you don't, right? Because that's where my passion is. If I need to be with my mom, I'm going to go be with my mom. If I want to go to my kids' field day, I'm going to go to my kids' field day. My youngest son is 15. He's a sophomore in high school. He's in the band. This year, I'm the band catering director. So I'm going to go to all his band, not concerts, but band field days, band camps, and things like that. So I'm going to take time off of work, and I'm going to do that. And this is going to help me get paid while I'm doing that. It's amazing. So the tip that I'm going to talk to you about, that's the part of get in touch with your why. Know why you're doing this. Have a drive. Know deep in your heart that you will not fail. You can stumble. You can fall. You can take a U-turn. You have to go around a big boulder in the train tracks, whatever. But you're not going to stop, and you're not going to fail because your why is so big. So my why was huge. My why is huge. And I still have a job, and it is paying my bills, and I love it. And that's the best job I've ever had in my life. I love it. But it also doesn't give me the opportunity to take as much time off as I want. So when I'm trying to figure out how to build a business that works, even when I don't, I've got to figure out how to get myself out there, how to talk to people like you when I'm not physically there talking to people like you. I've got to figure out how to leverage my time, and Avram had it right. It's with video. With video, I can touch hundreds, thousands of people in the same span of time that I can go to a networking event and talk to 10 people. In 6 months, I've reached over 1,500 people with my videos. In 6 months, I can't tell you how many networking events I would have had to go to reach 1,500 people. And the beauty of video is that it's always there. If you put it right in YouTube, or if you have it right on your blog, people can find you when they need you. Not when you're there for them, but when they need you. Oh, who was that lady that I met? Ninjas, high heels, what was that? So they can Google me, they can find me. And then they can find the information that I promised them that I would have out there, right? So people can find you with video. So let me tell you a couple stories about how video can transform your business. One of my clients is a mechanic. And you may, if you follow me at all on Facebook, you see me talk how wonderful he is all the time. This man, Joe Rendon is his name, with Road Monkeys. So if you're in Denver, look him up. You want him to be your mechanic. So Joe is an understated man, right? He's an awesome man, but he doesn't have a video presence. And the thing about Joe is when you look at him, you can feel how much he cares about you. The first time I met Joe, the very first time I met Joe, I'd never met him before. I just knew his wife. He went with me, and he helped me buy my son a car. He'd never met me. He helped me buy my son a car and negotiate a great price for the car for free, didn't charge me a dime. That's the kind of man Joe is. And Joe will never overcharge you to work on your car. So I said to him, Joe, we're going to have to get you out there because people need to know you. They need to see you. And then you're going to have more business than you can count. So this last week, Joe and I met, and we talked about how we're going to get him to migrate his business to video, to grow his business with video. So even a mechanic can figure out ways to help people on video. I said, Joe, I live here in Denver. You can help me because I live next to you. But what about the poor person that lives on the East Coast and they can't come to your shop? How can you help them? That, my friends, is the power of video. Do good. The more people you help, the better off you're going to be. You can reach thousands, millions of people with video. Do it for the good of everyone. So spend your time create a video challenge. And if you don't know what to do with video, never fear. Join my link below. I have a 30-day program where I help budding entrepreneurs figure out how to start or grow their business online. So if you sign up with me, I will give you that 30-day program that's a step-by-step guide on how to grow your business using video and social media. It's just 30 days. You're not going to get everything, but you'll get the basics. You'll get started. And then let me tell you, when you get started, it will be easy. Because what Lori didn't tell you, she might think that I'm a Google expert or a video expert, but really, 6 months ago, I had never done a Google Hangout before. I had never done a video before. I was a noob. I didn't know anything. And the first videos, if you go back and you look at my YouTube account, Leslie Lane Peabody, if you go back and look at my Google account, my YouTube account, you're going to see the first couple videos I did, you didn't see my face. I did not put myself out there. I had PowerPoint slides, right? You didn't see me. I didn't want you to see me. Now, I'm very comfortable. I teach people how to do this on a daily basis. I do this all the time, and I help others do it, and it's easy. But that first step is the hardest, and that's what we'll give you as a team. The first step is always the hardest. You need to run with a team that's on fire, a team that has power. That's what we have. We are rocking it. So join with one of us, figure out how, click our link, and figure out how to get to Charlotte with us. And let me tell you, if you choose not to go to Charlotte, there are a lot of people we help. We'll still help you. But you're going to catapult your business. You're going to be on that train that is chugging down the tracks instead of walking. Either way, get on the damn tracks. But we'd love for you to come on the train with us. So that's kind of my marketing tip, is go to video. Go to video, reach more people, same message, same amount of time, your reach is skyrocketing high. So now we'd like to introduce you to Dennis Lund. He is the professor of possibilities. And let me tell you, you want Dennis on your team, because as we're working together and we're trying to figure out the best way to present this workshop to you, he came up with idea after idea after idea. And let me tell you, it was Dennis's idea. Do you see how our links are in big letters and then our names are in small letters? Well, Google tells you to do that the other way, right? So it was Dennis's idea. He'd say maybe by accident, but Dennis came up with the idea to put the link on the top and our names on the bottom. I'm like, Eureka, what a great idea. And that is some of the power you're going to get by working together with people. Sometimes it's just a mistake, but sometimes those mistakes can be the best thing that ever happened to you. And meeting Dennis was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Dennis, take it away, sir.
Wow, what an introduction. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So really, really exciting stuff, man. I'm sitting here taking down notes. I got video written down like 20 times. And because, I've done a few videos, and I got to admit, it was a little uncomfortable for me at first. And Google Hangouts are fairly new to me too. When I present, I usually present, right on the phone or actually in front of a group of people. So it's kind of unusual not to have that interaction and with the audience. But nonetheless, I'm just going to imagine that I'm standing in front of an audience of 5,000 people, because I believe that's possible. That's a possibility, kind of where I kind of coined that phrase, the professor of possibilities. And I just want to acknowledge all of you for being on the call with me. It's really an honor to work with you guys. It's really great to be part of this family. And then those of you that are viewing from the outside, I want to acknowledge you too, because if you're still here, what it tells me is that you're interested in learning. You're looking for some new ideas, some ways to move your business or your life forward. Even if you're not in business, you can get value from this hangout. I have a simple tip that can apply to any aspect of your life, and it's really simple. There are 3 ways that you can improve your results. 3 ways to improve your results. That is, the first one is the inner game, right? And the outer game and action. So what the inner game is, what are your belief systems? What do you think about this or that? What do you believe is possible around a certain skill set. So let's say if you're in sales, what is your belief around sales? If you're in network marketing, for example, what is your belief around recruiting? You know, what are your belief systems? Because your belief systems really drive your action or what you're willing to step into. Your inner game is really, really key, right? The outer game is simply those systems or things that you do on a daily basis to produce a predictable result, right? It's the number of phone calls you make, the number of coaching clients that you serve. It's those kinds of things, right? And then the action piece is really, really the key to this whole thing. Because, for example, you talk about learning how to do video. At first, it was uncomfortable for you, which is certainly a normal thing for all of us when we step into something new because of our inner game. So if you take the action steps and kind of just step into it and make it a part of your outer game, your activity, is the best way to learn because it helps to accelerate the process. You can't learn from standing still and thinking about a possible outcome or dreaming. I mean, that's where it all starts. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge dreamer, but I'm now also a huge believer in action. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm working with you and the Empower Network. Okay, so I mean, I've been around for a while, you know, kind of old school guy. Started out, you know, as a window washer. That's, you know, I kind of found a calling with me. I had a skill and a talent for washing windows, and I excelled at it. I did extremely, extremely well. And throughout the years, I've had multiple businesses. Some were very successful, some weren't so successful. I've been involved in a few network marketing companies, both of which the company ended up shutting down, right? So anyway, fast forward to, you know, years later, I began to struggle a little bit. You know, I saw people that were working in different industries, you know, that, you know, were having enormous success. And so I would try to work with them, match and model them, but for some reason I was not producing the same results until I learned this one distinction that I just shared with you. And that is, you can increase your results by focusing on any one of those three areas, you know, your inner game, your outer game, or action. And so I realized that the difference between them and I was myself, that I was the only real variable, right, in the equation. So I started to go to school, man. In the last 3 or 4 years, I've been really involved in school, but I'm not talking about traditional education. I'm talking about learning things through the Empower Network. Not only this. Whoa.
Whoa, I don't know what just happened there.
I didn't have.
It said a server thing, a server error.
Okay.
Well, we're back, so go ahead, Dennis. I'm sorry.
See that? You know, watch out. You be careful what you ask for. And you talk about technology in a negative way, it could have a negative impact. Because I do believe that we become what we think about, right? So I'm a student of personal development, not the traditional education model, because quite frankly, that never worked for me, right? Let me get a drink of water. By the way, I'm speaking to you live from the Las Vegas desert, and it's 105 degrees.
That's right. We had to make Dennis put clothes on. He wanted to do this from the swimming pool.
Yeah, right. See, my typical working uniform is, you know, shorts and a pair of sandals, right? So, but anyway, back to the idea I was sharing with you. Came to me through personal development. I decided I'm the variable. I need to work on me, right? And I also realized that change begins from the inside out. Change begins with language, right? So you first begin by saying, well, maybe I can, right? The inner game to, you know what? I think I really can. I really, really do think I can. But the action piece is what I mentioned earlier is really, really key, because when you're in action and you're starting to improve on your inner game, your belief systems, you have experiences, things that show up for you that confirm that you're on track and that it expands your beliefs and possibilities for you. And then you meet amazing people, like the people on this panel, like David Wood, the founder of the Empower Network, like Avram and Nikki, who tell you that they believe in you. And when other people start to believe in you, it becomes a little easier to start believing in yourself. And then a whole cascade of possibilities start to open up for you, right? And so I really want to encourage you to take that simple step, put it to work for you, and, you know, see what you could, you know, create from that experience. But so I've been attending university of the universe is what I like to call it, right? And so I've had a lot of really amazing experiences and breakthroughs. And another one for me was that if I'm living my life on purpose, whether it's a good day, an average day, or just an okay day, I can still feel really good about my day because I'm living life on purpose. When you're living life on purpose, there's an energy that comes from within you. There's a passion, a fire that will drive you through. So what if a really bad day just showed up? it's not a bad day because I'm living on purpose. In fact, so few bad days even show up for me anymore. I'm almost reluctant to the fact that I just said that, right? You know, it's like the technology blip. You know, be careful what you ask for, right? And I'm just kidding there. I really am confident that I do create my own reality. And then in moving forward, I decided to get a certification as a professional performance coach, right? I had no real formal background or education. I was an outstanding window washer. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So I'm a certified professional performance coach. I'm a certified sales trainer. I'm a best-selling author. I've got all those tools and things working for me in place to help me to reach more people, right? People are more likely to have an ear open and an eye on what you have to share if they believe that you have something of value to add. And so that's part of the inner game conversation. Fast forward, and a long story short, is that by working on purpose and following my purpose, new opportunities have shown up. I had a coaching client call me out of the blue the other day and said, Dennis, I see that you're a coach. We went to high school together 30 years ago. I said, man, I wonder if you can help me. I'm at a place in my life and I just feel stuck. I said, absolutely. You know, I was able to help this guy, you know, moving forward in a powerful way. And I'm serving my purpose. I'm serving and I'm paying it forward. And what I found when I was introducing an Empower Network is that it is in alignment with my purpose. It perfectly aligns with my purpose because the Empower Network is empowering me to use it as a platform to promote myself as a coach, as a speaker, as a trainer, as a person that can really add value in a huge way, huge way. And so I'm really grateful for the Empower Network. And then, of course, the technology side. So, I mean, I own all the products. Every time a product comes out, I'm like the first guy in line. I just can't wait to get it and then implement that, right, the action piece, and put it in my business. So I know where I'm going, and I know that I'm going to be in Charlotte, and I know that my business is exploding, and I'm really excited because I can help more and more people through the Empower Network platform than I could ever reach any other way. And I just want to kind of end what I'm sharing with you with a really quick quote. And I need a drink of water. Like I said, it's like 105 degrees. Woo! But you know what? I don't mind. I love it. I'd rather be hot than cold. You know what I'm saying? Hot, hot, hot. And of course, you know, being in Las Vegas, you know, should I decide to take a couple days off, the Strip's a few blocks away, right? So I want to share a quote with you. Now, this is by Steve Bowe. He's the president of the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. And I don't know what your beliefs are, you know, if it's God, source, universe, you can fill in the blanks for whatever, but I wanted to share this quote with you, and I quote, God's gift to us is more talent and ability than we can ever hope to use in a lifetime. Our gift to God is to develop as much of that talent and ability as we can in this lifetime. So I believe in you because someone else believed in me, and I believe you can achieve whatever you want. Anything's possible for you. Thank you.
That's awesome, Dennis. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you guys joined us here tonight. Lori, Don, and Dennis, and Avram and I, we are thrilled to have you here. And one of the things that I'd like to say, and Dennis said it, Avram said it, Don did it, Lori did it, I did it, you are successful when you take action. That's one of the things that this team promotes, is immediate, decisive action. Let me tell you what that action needs to be tonight. Right now, figure out who you align with. Join with whoever brought you here, whoever you align with. Look at their link. Click their link and join. It costs $25 a month to join, and you will get a blog that you can start sharing your message to the world. Avram, if you ever looked him up, he built snowmans and videoed about it. He videoed things about everyday life, and you're like, that guy made how much doing what? It's amazing. People care about what you care about. Share your message with the world. Whatever that message is, share that with the world. Start with me today. Start with Lori today. Start with Dawn today. Start with Dennis today. But just get started. You don't have to know anything. I didn't know anything about this kind of thing when I started. And now people come to me for Google and video questions. 6 months is all I've been doing this, okay? And you know what else? I don't know anything about internet ranking or whatever, but when I sat down with my client Joe the other day and I Googled, and he saw that I was on the first page of Google with one of my links, that, my friend, is a powerful motivator. He knows me, he knows who I am, and there I am on page 1 of a Google search. How powerful can you be? How big can your business grow in 6 months? Now, we're not going to make you any guarantees because it all depends on you. And just like Avram said, you know, they went along and they stumbled and they did okay, but they didn't do great until they hooked up with Lawrence Tam and his crew. And then things changed overnight, but they didn't really change anything. Well, actually, they did. But when you hook up with the right people, things change, and it's so easy you don't even notice that everything has changed for you. You just keep doing what you're doing, and of course you normally grow and get better at things, that kind of thing. It just comes naturally, and it's easy. So today it's hard. Today, that first step is hard. Remember riding a bike? How hard that was? Trying to keep your balance? Trying to keep that wheel the right way? But I think we all learned how to ride a bike. And I think now we can jump on a bike and ride and not fall. Join with us. Pick one of us. Make that investment in your future today, right now. If you're still here, it's because you know in your heart you need to take action today. So please, I invite you to join with one of us. Join right now, tonight, with one of us. And we'd love to see you in Charlotte. So whenever you join, we'll reach out, you reach out, whatever, and we'll get you all in. We'll get you to Charlotte, and we will have the best time of our life in Charlotte. These guys are awesome. We have the best house there is going to be in Charlotte. We're going to have barbecues. We're going to have fun. And we're going to work hard, and we're not going to even notice because we're going to be having such a great time. So if you can't make it to Charlotte, join with us anyway because we are rock stars and we are fun. You are never going to have so much fun growing your business as you will with us. So find one of us, join with us right now, tonight. Don't go to bed. Get out your credit card, $25, put it in. You will be so happy. So I'd like to say goodbye, and I'd like everybody on the panel to say a parting word before we say goodbye. Lori.
Live events is where it's happening, and you can do it in your business, and you can do it with us. So come on aboard the train. We're leaving soon, and I wish you the best, all the best to you, and just come on and connect with all of us. See you then.
Thanks, Don.
Team Kahuna wants you. Let me tell you. I'm in my 50s. I've been laid off 4 times. And what I told Dave Wood the other night is what set me on the road to going all in was that 3 of my best buddies who were working at Pearson for 30 years just got laid off. You have to build your own financial bridge to the future. And this is the way to do it. Team Kahuna, it's me. You want to be on it? Let's go. Get to Charlotte. We're there. Thank you all for watching.
Awesome, Dennis.
Woohoo! Hey, change begins in language, right? You have a brilliant mind. Put it to work for you, all right? Anything is possible, man. If you have the right vision, the right goal sets, the right mindset, you can achieve anything. In fact, it's because you have everything you already need inside of you. It's just a matter of reaching down inside, slapping it around and waking it up, because that's what I had to do to get my game on. And I'm really excited about where my life's going. I've never been excited like this than I could ever remember, at least not in this lifetime. So I look forward to seeing you in Charlotte or a future event, wherever it is in the world, and I'd celebrate. You have greatness inside of you, and I believe in you.
Awesome. We can't end on a better note than that. So I'd like to invite you to join with one of us. If you're not ready to join yet, find us on LinkedIn, find us on Facebook, find us on Pinterest, find us somewhere. Join with us. Take a ride with us. We love you. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.